What is going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with another Cleveland Browns video for you guys. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 free agent safety options for the Cleveland Browns post NFL draft. Because, of course, for some reason, the Browns decided to simply not draft a safety, knowing that safety was one of their top needs heading into the draft. Because, of course, Juan Thornhill kind of flopped and Rodney McLeod retired. And you look at the position as of today, it's thin. I mean, the starters are good, but it's a thin unit right now, man. Oh my goodness. Grant Delpit and Ronnie Hickman are currently tabbed as the starters at safety. And then as backups, you have Christopher Edmonds, Trey Dean III, and undrafted free agent Donovan McMillan. That's all they have. Now, of course, they could always have like Nick Needham play safety or Cameron Mitchell, but that would mean sacrificing a corner spot to add to safety, right? You don't really want to be sacrificing cornerback depth to add to the safety room. So if I had to guess, the Browns are probably going to go out at some point and get at least one safety. Maybe a starter and maybe one to fill the Rodney McLeod role. It all depends on their viewpoint on Ronnie Hickman. Do they think Ronnie can be that guy? I don't know. If they think Ronnie can make the leap, I think they simply go out and get a Rodney McLeod type safety to fill in that role. But if they don't really think Ronnie can be like that, I think they can definitely go out and get a legit starting safety. Now, as of the last couple weeks, they've really only had one safety in for a visit. That, of course, was Rayshawn Jenkins. And, of course, they did not sign him. At least they haven't yet. They might go around and sign him at some point later, but who knows how long he'll be on the market. So, with that being said, let's go through 5 free agent safety options for the Cleveland Browns post NFL draft. And the first option I'm going to talk about is former division rival Marcus Williams, who was let go by the Ravens. And you look at his background, he'll be turning 29 in September out of Utah. He was selected by the Saints in the second round in the 2017 NFL draft. And you look at his stats, he's been pretty consistently good, except for this past year. Up until last season, he had played in and started double-digit games every year, and he's had multiple seasons with multiple interceptions. 3 seasons with 4 interceptions. He's had 1 with 3 and 2 with 2. And then, of course, 2023, he had 1 interception. And last year, 0 interceptions. Honestly, last year was probably the worst year of his career. Just the fact that he really didn't do anything. And now, the Ravens went out and drafted Malachi Starks, and you know he's going to start next to Kyle Hamilton. So, Marcus, yeah, they let him go. Rough way to go, because he was a solid safety in New Orleans. Even his first year in Baltimore, he was really, really good. Now, would I take him? Yeah. I think this would be one of the guys I would take for the Rodney McLeod role. But honestly, I could see him starting. Who knows? But I think he could be an interesting option for the Browns if they were to go his way. Now, another interesting option is former Raven and Jet Chuck Clark. Now, Chuck Clark is 30 years old. He just turned 30 in April, on April 19th. Out of Virginia Tech, drafted by the Ravens in the 6th round of that same draft, 2017. And he's 2 years now removed from a torn ACL. And as they say, it usually takes a player 2 years to fully come back from a torn ACL. And he played in 12 games, started 12 games last year for the Jets. So availability really hasn't been an issue. It's just that one gruesome torn ACL that's really hampered him so far. So we'll see where he ends up. But again, this guy I think would come in and he could be a solid number 3 safety option if the Browns really like Ronnie Hickman. That's just my viewpoint. Now, another safety, and this one I think could actually be a starter, which would then push Ronnie to the number 3 safety spot. That is Quandre Diggs. Now, you talk about a safety production. Of course, he's 32. He turned 32 in January out of Texas. This dude has played both safety spots. In fact, he even was a corner for a year or two in Detroit when he first came into the league. But went to Tennessee this past season, and of course, his production went down the tubes. He really didn't do anything in Tennessee. Whereas in Seattle, he was great. I mean, 2020, 2021, and 2022, 3 straight Pro Bowl seasons. He had 5 interceptions in back-to-back years in 2020 and 2021, followed by a 4 interception season in 2022. And then only got 1 interception in 2023. And then, of course, Tennessee down the tubes. So I think he could come into Cleveland and have a career resurgence next to Grant Delpit. Just my view on it. Yeah, I think he could come in here and play on a relatively cheap contract. I think a lot of these contracts would be relatively cheap now, being as, teams are trying to fill spots that they didn't fill in the draft. So, yeah, he would definitely take Quandre Diggs. Coming off a bad year, I think he's going to want to rebuild his market, and I think doing so in Cleveland would be huge for him. Now, the next safety I'm going to talk about is actually the guy that was just in for a visit, Rayshawn Jenkins. Now, believe it or not, I thought we were going to sign Rayshawn, right? Another member of the 2017 draft class. He's 31 years old. He turned 31 in January, drafted by the Chargers in the 4th round out of Miami, Florida. Overall, solid corner, right? Coming off a season with Seattle, played in 13 games, started 9, didn't record an interception, but he did have a fumble recovery. Touchdown. Yeah. He had a scoop and score. So there's that. But he's been pretty productive. Not going to lie. In fact, prior to last season, he was coming off back-to-back seasons in Jacksonville where he played in every game and started every game as a productive member of the Jaguars secondary. Had 3 interceptions in 2022, including a pick 6. 2023, 2 interceptions. Yeah, so he's been a solid contributor. And I think he would come into Cleveland and, again, be our number 3 safety, with Ronnie most likely taking the number 2 role next to Grant Delpit. But honestly, they could make Rayshawn the number 2 safety next to Grant. That would be cool. And then the safety that I really think the Browns would probably go out and sign is former Indianapolis Colt Julian Blackmon. You look at Julian's background, he's the youngest of the group, 26. He'll be turning 27 in August. And he was fantastic in Indy. Oh, yeah. Coming off a season where he played in 16 games, started every game he played in, 3 interceptions, right? Sacks, not really much there, but yeah. His last 2 years have been fantastic, right? Played in 15 games in 2023. Started all of those games. 4 interceptions. He's had 8 picks the last 3 years, including a pick 6 in 2022. So I think, again, he would come in, start next to Grant, and that would be one heck of a duo. Yeah, I would love this so much. Now, the only thing is, you look at our history of signing safeties, especially big money ones. Yeah, it hasn't really worked out too well, has it? John Johnson III. I mean, he was productive for a couple years, but yeah, didn't really amount to nothing. And then Juan Thornhill. Dude couldn't get on the field. It wasn't his fault. Injuries just took him out. It was interesting signing an injury-prone safety. Then you look at Julian Blackmon. Again, availability really hasn't been an issue for him. So I think he would come in, he would start right away, and you could probably get him again for a relatively good price. Unless he's still looking for a, $10+ million contract. Of course, he was drafted by the Colts 3rd round, 85th overall in 2020. So again, getting into that second contract. I think this guy would definitely be one hell of an option if the Browns were to look his way. But another player from Utah, just like Marcus. I think that would work. I think this would be a really good signing. Of course, if you guys haven't figured it out, I did this video in hopes that I could have the same luck that I did with the receiver video, right? I did the receiver video, I was uploading it, and then as I'm uploading the video, I get a tweet saying that Diontae Johnson visited. Maybe the same thing happens here. Maybe as I'm uploading the video, someone signs. Right? Maybe we'll come back to this video and think, hey, he was right again. You did it again, crazy dog. Look at you. Call you Dogstradamus. Dogstradamus. There you go. Yeah. All right. So let me know what you guys think of these options, and is there anybody that you would possibly go after? I mean, looking at the safety free agent class right now, not really much there. Justin Simmons, Jordan Whitehead, Jordan Poyer, DeMonte KZ, Marcus May, Tashawn Gibson, Von Bell. I wouldn't mind Von Bell on a good contract. Or add another Buckeye. Why not? Make it happen. Hey, Jerome Baker, hit your dude up. Tell him to get his butt over here. Damn it. Play for the good team in Ohio for once. Right? Damn. Oh, man. But that's all I got for this video. As always, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that bell. And I'll see you guys tonight for what could be another clincher as the Knicks look to finish off the Pistons. But as we've seen, the last couple of streams I've done, the team facing the deficit has risen to the occasion. Do we get a Game 7 Knicks Pistons? I wouldn't mind it at all, right? I would not mind that one bit. But let me know what you guys think of the safeties mentioned in this video, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, the Browns definitely need a safety. Just look at the room. It's not very deep. It's heavily front-loaded. My God. Grant Delpit is without a doubt the best safety in the room. Ronnie Hickman ain't bad, but they could definitely add a number 3 safety. I think they want to. But Andrew Berry, he's not going to overpay. But I don't think contracts right now are going to be too expensive anyway. These guys want to get on the field. Right? They want to get a new home heading into camp. So let me know what you guys think. As always, I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go Browns. And I'll see you guys tonight for Knicks Pistons. Bye-bye. Yeah.